long as we're on the Tyga topic, we might as well turn to the zesty handicap version of Tyga. Trell, he did a podcast today, and I managed to catch a chunk of it that was about me, where basically he said that if me and Big Deal get together and hop on a podcast, he will show up. So I'm thinking, if you're so confident, then I should just bring Big Deal one day. We go live, and okay, boom. You got 3 hours to show up. We're live. We're waiting on you. We can play fucking Parcheesi until you get here. So, but in my mind, like Trell, a lot of times I notice that when he's on podcasts, he's just talking, like he's just saying shit. It's like I don't really know that I really believe it or whatever.
So is he more mad about the you and Big Deal's friendship right now, or the Mackwop thing? What's he more upset about?
I don't know. It's like he has this weird boastful thing going where I feel like he feels like he thinks that he's so good at podcasting that he could take me and Big Deal on at the same time, which to me is kind of flabbergasting. I can't.
Doing what?
Potting.
Oh, I thought this was like a physical confrontation.
For sure.
How do you have a potting competition? Explain.
You get together and you talk. This is actually a potting competition right now, even though we might not be thinking of it as such.
Oh.
But I mean, be real with you.
He thinks that he can execute more topics than you in a
not more, but better.
Fans
we're gonna argue. We're gonna chop it up.
I meant to say better.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what I got from listening to him, was that he feels like he could take both me and Big Deal on at the same time. I'm gonna be real with you. He couldn't even take on Big Deal by himself. Like, they had an argument on Back on Fig that made T-Row look retarded. So you throw me in the mix, Joe Rogan of the streets.
J-Cat Joe Rogan?
J-Cat Joe Rogan. And you think you're going to be able to take both of us on?
You should let me host the debate.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. A neutral third party.
My Uncle Sam costume, like the Kendrick. Yeah, like Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, I love that too. Yeah.
I like that for you.
But I feel like if we were to do this, that he wouldn't show up, because he's going to feel like, and he also has like a completely inflated sense of his own value, because he was talking about me and him doing a podcast together and him getting paid $100,000.
Fuck. Per year?
Where is this $100,000? No, for like one podcast. Where is the $100,000 going to come from? That's not going to happen. And even the idea,
Mr. Mushy's ads,
I think he thinks that we could get on live and do a podcast to get, or a live podcast, like in a venue. I'm going to be real with you. You are not like that anymore. You're not like a draw. Like nobody's going. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that shit anymore. Now, at the time that it really popped off, maybe. Right now, people are not checking for you like that.
Wait, he wants to do like a podcast version of the RJ Greedo concert?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Now, so wait, what I'm hearing, if I'm reading through,
he reached out to you about this?
Yeah, no, he's just talking about it on the
it sounds like he wants to pod with you.
Oh, he does, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why he got mad, is because Mackwop had me on before he got a chance to like do something with me. He's mad about that. But it's crazy now, because this is another thing I got from watching that podcast, is that he thinks that, like, at first he was obviously mad that I went on the Apollo.
Yeah.
And now he realizes that that's kind of a bad look for him to be mad about me going on the Apollo, because that makes him look real cheesy and corny and sensitive. For him to be really mad about me just going on somebody who's connected to him's podcast. So now he's not mad about that. He's mad at Mackwop in general for poking at him and trying to provoke him.
Okay.
Which to me seems like a lie. It seems like the reason you're actually mad is because of the fact that this dude had me specifically on the podcast. I literally watched Heather cry.
Yeah.
About this topic.
Well, why did Mackwop because I've been going down a rabbit hole and doing a lot of research, because I've been trying to figure out why Mackwop and Trell had funk. What made them switch up on each other or whatever.
And it's kind of a blurry timeline. There are a bunch of different small things. There was, at one point Heather was on Back on Fig and she had COVID.
Yeah.
And
Trell is pussy whipped, and they ain't feeling the nigga who bitch control the narrative up there, bro.
Nah, but it was
That's
also
what
like,
it is. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, like.
That's definitely part of it, is that he basically has to go along with whatever Miss Moneybags does.
We have to make sure that we're in good standings with your girl every time we come in this motherfucker. And if we not, it's like a thing, like it's tension in the fucking, you know?
Because she publicly told Mackwop off on stream. Yeah.
Right, and that's after he had a pod where there was chicks going off on her. And then I'm like, damn, is he tripping? Because like if you look at the timeline, and this is a theory that I've seen in some of the subreddits, and it got deleted multiple times, but a lot of people are saying that right around the time that that the info was coming out more publicly, that Trell and Heather used to go on dates with underage Kylie and all that. Right. You feel me? Like,
okay, because the reason why that theory seems like it has legs to me is because of the fact that, like, I've said so much shit to them, and for the most part, they've responded to everything. At one point, I called Heather a prostitute. She responded immediately. Why? Probably because she wasn't really a prostitute of any, like, significance. Yeah. Maybe she was a sugar baby or whatever. I don't 100% know. But whatever you want to call it. But at that point, when I mentioned that, when I said something about them going on double dates with Kylie when she was underage, which there's, like, a bunch of photos of this, and it does look kind of crazy, never heard a word. After that, they went into like, don't mention Adam mode super hard. Never heard a word from them about that. And there's other stuff too.
Well, there's like deep lore on like the Lipstick Alley forums.
Because there's old posts talking about like her stealing her style from whatever. But either way, another example of that is when we talk about Stet beating her cheeks up before Trell came into the picture. Never do you hear them talk about that. So you can basically tell what stuff is true by what stuff they won't respond to. And it seems like
about people who
but it seems like there was a gauntlet laid down to eliminate any discussion of the fact that they were basically helping Tyga to pursue Kylie when she was underage. They were
to groom a 15.
They were a groom team.
We're grooming billionaires, bitch. What are you saying?
No, and that was really
crazy.
Because he really said nasty work, right?
Trell did respond to that.
Yeah.
When I said that, you're right. He did respond, but his response was, "Man, I don't give a fuck. We grooming billionaires out here." And I feel like that was really what pissed Heather off, because she actually knows what the optics are. She knows she did something wrong. Trell is not smart enough to actually even know that he was a part of grooming her. But I think that Heather got in his ear and basically like really mega shut it down with that.
I feel like Trell thought he was saying like, I groomed her to be a billionaire.
That is not what he thought, bro.
No, I'm saying he had to, because it's like, who the fuck sits on their stream? I'm not trying to save him. I'm just hoping. Like, it's like, I go to my computer and I'm typing with the homie, like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. That little bitch was 16. I groomed a billionaire.
No, that's what it was.
That's how
what it was.
That is how he said it.
That's what it was.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. At least you're a billionaire, bitch.
No, that's
how he said it.
How many billionaires Puffy got up under his?
Which, okay, to be fair, Trell at that point in his life, was he in a position to say no to his boss when it came to his boss fucking with an underage girl?
I mean,
in modern times, I think we're all so conscious of how fucked up that is that it's possible to see him not wanting to do that. At that time, what the fuck did he have going in his life? I think for sure, like, he was on board.
He should have walked away.
If Tyga was killing people, if he was a serial killer, I think Trell would have been helping him to clean the blood out of his car.
Well, look at this. It still cost you 3 M's. You should have just walked away and told on the nigga. You would have been 5 M's up instead of 3.
Yeah, Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch.
Because it's like, because it's like you over here, like, you dick rolled a person so much that he got you in debt. He got you grooming teenagers with him. I mean, you just playing all different types of the field. Like, you a gang member. None of this shit is, I mean, the debt, but like, the kid shit could possibly be a thing. Had they put a charge on you for that shit, no longer a gang member. Your brother already say you're not a gang member, but let that shit pop up, That's over with.
I doubt he was holding
I wouldn't
Tyga's
give a
dick at
fuck.
the base and putting it in.
It don't
He
say
was
that.
around,
for him.
but I don't think legally he
don't
would have
say
been
that
able to
in the
be held
paperwork.
liable.
If all right, if I'm in the room and if we in the car and they playing with each other in the back, or if I'm in the room and he smack real quick and I'm overage, he's overage, and the girl's right there.
You're Tekashi 6ix9ine.
No, you're in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. You're Tekashi.
Oh yeah.
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
That's what he's guilty of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Coco number 4.
And I do believe. Okay, I do believe Mackwop does seem like he's said a lot of shit. He brings up that billionaire thing a lot. It's been brought to my attention that
That's what I'm saying.
he alludes to that a lot.
This isn't just random.
I think for a lot of people, when that shit happened, it's like whatever. We make fun of Trell a little bit because he was part of a grooming team. I think that for Mackwop, I think it maybe was more serious. Like, and keep in mind that this, like, my conversations with Mackwop have not gone far enough for me to like know what he's thinking in terms of if he even really has a problem with them. But I do think that the groom team thing could definitely be part of what's factoring into why because he like silently cut off Trell. And that's the whole weird thing about it. He silently cut him off, stopped fucking with him, stopped going on the show, has never really explained to Trell why, but then meanwhile has taken these little shots. Having me on was like one of many, many, many shots that led up to that.
The thing is, how long you gonna let your ghetto ass cousins come along? This, you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, I was rapping. I was a rapper. I needed you niggas. Now I'm getting money. It's like, hey, you could stay at home. I'm gonna go out with my white girlfriend, her white friends. We don't need a nigga in the back talking about yearning.
He didn't even talk like that back then. He was still white.
Who?
Trell.
He was still white.
I mean, when he came to No Jumper, he was still white. He like not white, but like he'd still talk.
He was more industry institutionalized.
If you watch,
I think that he was doing that for you.
There's I don't know. He was just trying to like code switch, whatever. But like, I could show you the podcast that we did with Danny Mullen. You would.
I saw that shit. I saw that shit.
You would never know that he was from South Central.
Yep. No, but
and I would never normally want to be like, oh, he's talking white, he's talking black. It's so black and white in this situation, no pun intended, but it is so clear cut that like he is playing a character when he gets on stream. Like he is playing Brick Baby when he gets on stream.
Well, like
he's playing a gang member.
The white version of him is like the skincare routine guy with the Lizzo song playing in the background.
So all right, I go on the road and now I'm like Tiger's road manager / runner. So now we on the road.
ID checker.
Yeah. Nah, ain't no ID checking going on.
Nope. Failed that mission.
Yeah. Ain't no ID checking. But just say I'm the road manager. Now when I'm OT, I'm meeting Billy and Joey and all these different corporate label execs and all that. So my lingo around the white guys, I pick up some lingo from him and then I go use it over here. Right. I'm guilty of it, but I've been doing this since I was 5.
No, they call
you get what I'm saying? But you pick up white lingo here, you use it with them. They reply with some more white lingo. You hold that in the bank and you wait till you see your other white friends. So
no, the people talking all the time like, oh, let's code switch and like, hell yeah, I'm diverse. I can speak to anybody.
Yeah, and make them understand.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh, but okay, I was gonna show this clip of oh man. Show the screen. I had a clip that somebody sent me of fucking Heather crying talking about us.
Yeah, well, no, and
it got removed. Look at the backup fig moderators removed it because they fucking have their Reddit is like a communist China now.
Like
you can't post anything, and she's crying talking about me going on the Apollo, which to me was so beyond shocking because keep in mind when I was on there, I said almost nothing about. I don't think I said anything about her.
Yeah.
I made fun of Trell. I didn't say anything about her. At least partially because I don't want my wife to get on my ass.
I don't think she was tripping on like per watching that clip because I reacted to it and then we talked about it yesterday on the news and Flacco tried to make it seem like I was a racist because a whole bunch of other shit, whatever. But she, I think mainly seemed upset about Mackwop.
She's white too.
To be honest,
white.
Well, yeah. Well, Flacco moves that goalpost because
if Drake's white, she's white.
Before he said that Lotto wasn't black because her mama is white. You feel me? But now. I don't know. So he's
Either way, I just couldn't believe she was crying talking about that shit.
But like to be fair, like I think some of her most of her frustration seemed to be towards Mackwop, and I can understand like why she would be frustrated and felt the need to turn up on him regardless of what happened, regardless if it was over the whole like, you know, grooming speculations or whatever. Yeah, but because like she said, like I would be fake as fuck if there's people that are supposed to be like my homies or my man's family or whatever, and they're coming over every week eating my food and they're in my crib and I don't say something. So I felt like it needed to be addressed. So I can understand her frustration in that regard. On another regard, it's kind of fucking wild that somebody who's already had so much media training and been in the industry for this long is so emotional when you figure they'd be able to compartmentalize that a lot better by this point in their career.
And the other thing about it too is that me going on Mackwop's stream to them doing that stream was literally 6 days later. So you'd think that in those 6 days that you would have had time to get your emotions together and to probably realize that if you go in there, and keep in mind, like Pun put up the hurricane is coming or some shit. Like he was gassing it up like she was going to really do some destruction. Instead, she goes on there and just starts crying her eyes out. That kind of blew my mind.